I'll just show you the kit. The kits are over here. They basically come. That's what they come with. Comes with just to put the seals in. That's to make the hole bigger so you can actually fit the seal in there because they are quite difficult to get in.
The hole is in the puncture.
Yeah, it's just going to make it a little bigger. Instructions. Very handy.
All else fails.
Yes, I'll give you a demo. I have read the instructions as well. And we have one of these. You get two of these. That's basically to inflate your tyre after you've repaired it. All you got to do is that screws on. I won't screw it right on because it'll start going. You screw that on until you hear a click, and then this here pops on. That there pops onto your valve. Once it hits the valve, it starts inflating. Like Grant was saying before, because it's air coming out, these get quite cold. So just wear a glove or something. Wear your gloves while you're doing this part of it, at least. So I've got this. So you got your puncture. If the nail's still in there, that's good. At least you can tell where the puncture is. 9 times out of 10, you should have your toolkit with you. You can use your pliers, pull your nail out, and you know where your puncture is. Sometimes you're not going to know where the puncture is because whatever's been in there has gone out again. You got the 2 CO2 cans there. You can use one of them, inflate your tyre, and that's going to let you know where your puncture is. Basically, you can spin around until you can see the air coming out, then you know. And if that happens, once you find your puncture, pop that in there. You can't lose the hole again because once they get down flat.
Find your puncture, tell me again.
Inflate it with one of those, and then you're going to know where it's coming from. But yeah, that's yeah. 9 times out of 10, whatever's in there is still in there anyway. But you do get that occasionally. So we've got the hole. We're making it bigger. Basically, what we're doing. It's not too bad. and I mean, another thing, you're going to be on the ground, so you're going to have the hole sort of up facing you if you can. Your bike in gear so it can't fall over on the stand. So you got your weight, you can actually get in there and actually get in there quite well. So we'll just make it this bigger. Just as big as we can. We'll get one of these here, these are the safety seals. What we're going to do is, we've got the little hook here, just put that in the middle, so you've got even amount on both sides. This is the hard part. Yeah, but like I said, normally you're going to be down like that. So, here we go. There we go. As easy as that. 9 times out of 10, it's in the middle anyway. But what you got to watch is you'll feel it going in. It'll just sort of pop in. If you put too much force on it, what's going to happen is it's going to go in too far. This is going to go in the tyre. It's going to be down here somewhere. It's good for nothing. It's going to be your last one because you've used all the other ones up. You haven't replaced them. And these, they're about $2.50 each thing, so they're really cheap. So you're just pushing that in till it's about the same as that one, basically. And all you're doing is just gently, just pushing like that. It'll start to just pull out a little bit. Then all you got to do is just hold on to that. Hold on to the bits, pull it out.
Oh, okay.
It's ready to go. You can inflate your tyre, and away you go.
You could just ride off with them dangling like that.
Yeah, what noise? Yeah.
David Lewis.
David.
And technician. I'd like to just check what kind of motorcycles you ride, whether they're mostly, obviously, road bikes and tourers or sports bikes. Are they all water-cooled? So, we'll start at the front of this bike and we'll look at tyre wear first. Tyres tend to wear like this here on the sides, and once they get particularly worn, you'll have difficulty tipping the bike into a corner. It'll feel sort of heavy and vague on the steering. So keep an eye on it for wear just there, not just in the middle, because the front tyre does tend to wear on the sides more. Balancing of the wheel shouldn't need doing unless it's just had a new tyre, and we or whoever fitted it would take care of that. Wheel bearings usually, again, don't give trouble. We'll check them on a service. Steering bearings, especially on an older bike, are worth keeping an eye on because the grease dries out and you can get corrosion, and it makes the steering heavy and again a bit vague. When you tip it into a corner, it feels as though it doesn't really want to go into a corner. So if you ever experience any handling difficulties, get someone to either jack the bike up, or if it's got a centre stand, put it on that, and people will feel for play or for tightness in the steering. We check that.
You mean how old?
Oh, after 3 or 4 years, the grease sometimes starts to dry out. It's just something worth bearing in mind. I think we'll move on to levels now. This is a hydraulic clutch, and there's the hydraulic brake. That's got an upper and a lower, they both have. If you find the fluid going down, that's a fair indication that the disc pads are wearing, which they will wear, they're designed to wear. So if you found you needed to top that up, rather than top it up, go and have a look. If you look in,
Is it them in there?
that's them way in there. I did have a long screwdriver a moment ago.
Yep.
But you can see you've still got sort of 3 mils, anything less than 2. It would be time to seriously consider new disc pads. Tyre pressures.
After this module, we'll just get a little break so they can all have something to eat and things.
Indeed, yep. So tyre pressures, always try and run with what the manufacturer recommends, except for this time of year when it's cold and damp out there. I'd be running 2 or 3 pounds less than recommended. You know, like you might run 36 in the front, recommended. You might want to run down to 30, 32. It'll get more heat into the tyre. Does make quite a difference, and it won't wear the tyre out a lot quicker. The race, people down on track days, they'll be running sort of 29, 30 maximum on these cold days. The same applies for the rear. Instead of running 42, run sort of mid-30s, 35, 36. And that'll be good. Right, the coolant. So check that before you go for your ride, and your oil level. Most bikes have a window these days. If the window gets dirty, or not dirty, but the oil starts to stain it on the inside, some have got a little wiper, a little screw in the middle. You can wipe the glass clean. This one's quite easy to spot. You can see it's full there. But if you weren't quite sure, you would tip it onto its side stand and you would see the air gap, and then you just get it vertical again and you see it level. If the engine's just been running, then the oil needs time to drain back down. But just on its side stand now, the oil would the oil's already in here, so it just tips to one side, and then as you centralise it, you put it vertical again. That just, have you seen our mannequin, have you? He's been there all night.
Yeah.
He's actually a patient bugger, yeah.
It's a bit scary.
Yeah. I thought he was kidding when he said that, but... Okay, so the rear disc is just the same as the front disc. You're just checking for wear on the pads. Anybody that's got a centre stand can always check wheel bearings.
If it's moving, you need to have it looked at.
Yeah, definitely, because the bearings are getting worn. And if the bearings are worn, then the seals are probably worn and let dirt in there.
Would that bike be seriously
Compromised?
Yeah.
You wouldn't really, you just about feel that, but it's not dangerous yet, but we would obviously...
You'd notice that when you're riding?
You would slightly, when you open the throttle and take the slack out of the chain and the bike moves forward, then you shut off, you might feel a bit of movement. Another place the bikes wear is the bearings in the swing arm, and that you would definitely feel. These bikes have got a lot of power, you can feel any play there. Again, that's something that the mechanics should be checking.